This podcast is sponsored by Aleppo Restaurant on Wonderland Road North and Crossings Pub and Eatery on Hyde Park.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you may be tuned in. We welcome you back to another edition of the Vicar's Crossing podcast. My name is Rob Henderson from Holy Trinity St. Stephen's Anglican Church in London.
My name is Kevin George. I'm the priest and rector at St. Aidan's Anglican Church in London, Ontario. Glad you all could be with us. Good to be on the road again, Rob.
We are on the road today. Want to give a special hello to our good friends and our sponsors, First Crossings Pub and Eatery on Hyde Park Road in London, and Aleppo Restaurant.
Aleppo Restaurant at, believe it or not, 666 Wonderland East.
There they are.
Wonderland North, Wonderland North, 666.
We love them over there.
We love them over there.
Good, and we thank you for being part of the podcast. And we are on the road, as Kevin said. Today we are in the beautiful London Convention Centre.
Yes.
For a special event that runs for a couple of days in the Diocese of Huron called Synod.
Very exciting.
And someone asked me what it meant, and I said, I have no idea.
I don't know. Ian, do you know?
Wandering the halls trying to find out what that word means. I have no idea.
Does Ian know what it is?
Does Ian, do you know what it means?
I kept wanting to call it the schism.
The schism.
Which
yes.
is
well, there's been a little bit of that over the years.
You wouldn't be far off, my friend. So that's good. No, and Ian's here as well. How you doing, Ian?
I'm all right.
Good.
I'm just getting over a cold, so there's going to be some sniffling.
Okay.
And Ian's a little pooped. He's been working this weekend at camp with the kids.
That's right. He's also been to America.
Not with the kids, just programming.
Oh, just programming?
He's also been to America since we last talked.
Oh, right.
So I wondered if he came back with some sort of an American plague or something.
We lost you for a while. I'm glad we found you.
Gone. Yeah.
Well, that's
good
good.
to be back.
So we're here at the Convention Center, and over the next couple of days, we'll be chatting with different folks about different aspects of ministry and faith in the public square. And we've been able to round up our first guest of the podcast from the Convention Center. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for
the one and the only, June Huff.
June Huff.
That's me.
June is the rector of Ascension Church in the East End of London. Welcome, June, to the Vicar's Crossing.
Oh, hi. Good to be here.
How do you like it so far?
I'm overcome. So,
Impressive, right?
I should have had a glass of water or something because right now I just feel like...
She's nervous.
I'm nervous.
She's
and I'm
nervous
all like,
on the Vicar's
my
Crossing.
throat's closing up. Yeah.
Okay, just stay calm.
Being at Synod is exciting enough, but to be with you two,
Well,
you with the sexy voice and Kevin.
And me, just a fool.
Yeah.
Mr. Sexy and a fool. That's what we call our rap group.
That's right.
We're going to get calendars.
If it gets overwhelming, just look at Ian.
You would appreciate
There
that
you
one,
go.
yeah.
Yeah, sure, okay.
And all will be well.
Poor
All will be
Ian.
well. No, good. Well, it's good to have you here. And
We're going to do Ask Ian Anything?
yeah, let's do that. So, June, we were going to ask you to take part in one of our
Well, we need to do our
features
big
here
intro, though.
and do our big intro
Yeah.
for this special thing we do. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time now once again for another edition of Ask Ian Anything.
Wild sound effects on the Vicar's Crossing. Now that we've set that up appropriately, let's go to June, who
Yes.
we usually have a question emailed, texted, sent in. Today, our Ask Ian Anything question comes to us via a live human being in June Huff.
June.
I'm alive.
Wow.
So, Ian,
Yes.
how are you dealing with your newfound celebrity status? And how are you competing with these two guys?
Well, there's a
I
good
mean,
question.
really.
I mean, it's hard to keep up with us.
Oh man, I can't even leave the house without wearing like sunglasses and a baseball cap turned down. Man, I'm just like,
wears his sunglasses at night.
no, I don't. I'm not really a celebrity. I don't think. I don't know. Like, I just I do it for fun. And if people stop me in the street going, "Hey, you're that dude,"
You're that
I go,
dude
"Yeah."
from the Vicar's Crossing.
Yeah, I go, "Okay, cool. Let's talk about it." I don't know.
Hang out
Well,
with the cool priest.
if you're doing this with the Anglicans, just don't go into a nursing home because they'll all recognize you.
Yeah, no, you'll be hot commodity
That's where
there,
most of them
buddy.
are.
Wow.
Well, you're getting smiles from our friends across
Well
the
played.
way here.
It's nice to have an audience, eh?
At the A. Miller George Funeral
A.
Home.
Miller George Funeral
how
Home,
do you
folks,
guys-
where each life is celebrated. That's what
right.
it says on the sign across from us around Rideout Street, 60.
Except they're never alive
60
to really
Rideout Street
experience it.
South. For all your funeral needs, on-site reception center, give them a call, 519-433-3184. That's where you can get these folks.
And they're celebrating Ian's celebrity today, too.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
good.
Ian's celebrity
So,
status.
moving on.
What was the question again, June? We lost
Oh,
ourselves.
she asked the question.
What?
I just asked how you're dealing with it, and he says he's dealing fine with it.
Yeah, I'm.
Yeah,
I
he's
don't
fine
really
with it.
consider myself a
Yeah.
celebrity, so
He doesn't.
you know.
I mean, you guys walk around with big signs and lights, over
sirens and things like
sirens,
that,
and
yeah.
I've seen Kevin's car, but
So
you
you're
know.
doing okay.
Yeah, I'm
You
doing
haven't
all
been
right. It's
overwhelming in your life. Yeah.
no, like I don't
Yeah.
know. I think it's gonna be weird once like I release music, because that's gonna be like, oh, you do this also. It's gonna be, I don't know.
That's right.
It's gonna be fun though. It's gonna
Well,
be
we got a
interesting.
show coming up soon where Ian's going to perform his music, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're going to do a live shot from Crossings.
Right.
Yes.
With
Yeah.
his music, so it's going to be
Yeah.
fun.
And then everything's just going to take off from there. Girls are going to just throw themselves at you.
no,
Yeah,
it's
I'm gonna be on
crazy. It's gonna be
billboards.
crazy.
You are.
I'm gonna own the moon.
You're going to be modeling.
Sure, that too. I
June
guess.
will be front
Yeah.
row at your first concert too.
Yeah.
I hear that.
Let
So-
us know.
Yeah.
So
I'll come and I'll bring my flashlight or my phone.
we like to have actual matches, if you don't
I'll
mind.
go old school. I'll go old school.
A
Yeah.
lighter. Yeah.
I'll get
Rob-
a lighter for sure.
Rob has come up with a really great idea for our time here over the next couple of days at Synod. We have a new segment because we will have our own little challenge that we always have with trivia, but we've got a new challenge because we want to just see how what the intelligentsia of this place is. You know, our Synod delegates must be very bright people.
I think they are.
particularly as it relates to the last 40 years.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What is this segment called?
So what we're going to be doing is asking our guests a trivia question.
Yes.
And, of course, everybody knows and has heard of the Wheel of Fortune.
Yes.
But here at the Vicar's Crossing with Kevin, Ian, and I, a more appropriate term for our wheel would be the Wheel of Misfortune.
The Wheel of Misfortune.
So what we're going to do, June, is we're going to spin the Wheel of Misfortune here and find out what year of trivia that you're going to get, okay? So let me
Okay.
just reach over and spin. Do you like our big wheel, by the way?
Yes, I
It's-
do. I just
we-
want to
we
do a
s-
disclaimer
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I don't represent the intelligentsia of the Synod, just in case I don't get the question.
All right. Well,
All right.
let's see.
just-
You've set
It's a
yourself up.
disclaimer.
Set yourself up. So here's the big wheel. Let's spin the wheel. And
Let's see if we can get a wheel going here. That's heavy, eh? How's that going? The wheel is so heavy.
Whoa.
Whoa!
there
What year
go.
did we land
what
on?
year? 1988, Ian.
1980.
Oh, the year I was
Find a
born.
quote- yeah,
That's great.
June's birth year.
1988. James,
My
June's birth
birthday
year.
year.
So we got a question. I think you should ask. You got a category in mind?
I don't. I
Pick a
don't.
category, Ian.
I will pick a category. Let's pick. There goes my phone. Let's pick. Huh.
He's trying to make this hard for me. I know this.
No. He's trying to get you an easy one. Pick one, Ian.
What color's pink again?
That's
Entertainment.
Okay, let's go entertainment because
All right,
relevancy.
we'll do that.
What conservative American announcer's radio show premiered this year, spawning a huge listening audience of devoted, quote, ditto heads?
And what year is this again?
1988.
Ditto heads.
1988.
I was okay until you said
1988.
ditto heads. So it's a conservative Larry King? No.
Larry King?
No, it wouldn't be. He's not conservative.
What are you,
Who's-
how many
who's-
guesses are you going to have?
I'm trying to think. Larry King. Do you know? Okay. Can you give me a hint? Do you know the person?
I have no idea who this person is.
Can you give me, like, initials?
RL?
Oh, come
Girl.
I
on.
know
What do
who
you
that
just
is
give it
now,
to her?
Yeah. We can give her a little bit of a hint.
No,
When,
she's-
when you're late for something, you find yourself in a bit of a...
Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah.
Yes.
She got it right.
Yes.
You got it right, Kevin?
Got it right.
Kevin.
Oh, man. Where's my prize?
A sweet high
Do I get a
five?
free pen?
Your
Oh.
prize is getting to see us, and you do get a free pen.
So that's what's going to be happening here over the next couple of days.
Holy cow.
We're going to be grabbing some people from the convention center here at Synod and chatting with them and having some fun. So
Why don't we have our little, what do you call it, our Canon Tavish challenge here? Our,
Yeah. So I'm going to quiz these two
Oh, okay.
priests with the highest trivial knowledge we can.
what year are we on?
We are on year 1983.
1983.
All right. So do you want to choose a category for our esteemed get or for
Do you
our,
want me to
our
choose a category?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do that.
She likes that idea? Don't read the question, just picks the category. It's geography, entertainment, arts and literature, science and
Kevin
nature.
loves science.
Yeah.
So, like,
I don't want to be biased, though.
you kind of like science?
Kevin
Just
loves
pick a
science,
category.
yeah.
Are you, do you know science?
I don't know.
I don't know, Kevin. You know a lot.
I don't know.
You're a doctor.
I don't know. Come on with it.
Look at I've got a rash. What do you think, Kevin?
Come on. Yeah, no, no thanks. Cover that up.
I've been wanting somebody to look at this rash
Pick
for a
a
long
category,
time.
June.
And I heard you were a doctor. Oh,
June,
okay.
pick a category.
I think history because Kevin will know history.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know about Rob.
This is taking a long time.
Okay, science.
Science for who?
Science.
Okay, and what about Rob?
Science for
Science
Kevin.
for Kevin. What about for me?
Oh, Rob. Oh, I was going
I
to
know nothing about sports or entertainment.
Oh, yeah, right. I knew-
Geography. I feel like he should ask him geography.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Geography?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So
Okay, good.
science.
Science. Let's have
Which
it.
is green.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good at this. What computer device launched this year with its signature one button was used by Apple for 22 years before more
Oh,
features were
man.
added?
This is 1983.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't answer yet because we got to hear Rob's question.
All right.
So I get geography.
What time-obsessed European country launched the trendy, affordable Swatch watch this year?
Oh, man. Like, how come I
Okay,
didn't
so-
get this?
So mine was about the computer, right?
Yes.
So I'll say the Apple.
The mouse.
Oh.
Oh.
No.
Oh, no. So I have an opportunity to go ahead because I think we're
Yes.
tied
go
1-1.
ahead.
We're tied at 2.
tied
We're tied
1-1.
at 2. Tied
We're
at
tied
2.
at
Tied at 2.
Tied
I'm
at
sorry.
2.
Okay. And
Yes.
so I need the country, correct? The name of the country was the...
Yes, you need the
I'm
name.
gonna
What
go
was the
with
question again?
All right, here we go. What time-obsessed European country
Yeah.
launched the trendy, affordable Swatch watch this year?
Come on.
Switzerland.
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. He
That
gets
is
all the
just,
questions.
that was just too easy.
All right. Well, let's
I'm
see
ahead
where this goes.
3-2.
You're now up
I'm ahead
3-2.
3-2.
So let's see where this goes the next time. We understand the bishop's charge is on, and so we need to get back in
Oh,
on the
yeah.
floor.
Well, it's almost over.
No, it's just getting going, I think.
Is it
So
just
we'll-
getting going?
We're
We'll get in there. We want to make sure that everybody understands we got back in to hear the bishop's charge.
We got in there and it was...
Oh, that's fair.
and it was good. Yes. You
Yes.
heard it, June. You
I-
weren't out here.
you
You were
know
in there
what?
listening to it.
I was excited about
Back
that.
at it in a
I
bit.
need to get in there.
Okay, we'll be back in a bit. And we're back at the London Convention Centre with the Vickers Crossing, broadcasting from Synod 2019. And Kevin, we've got another guest. here
Another
in the
guest,
hallway.
known to many around these parts. He's not from parts unknown, but from parts of London. Actually, he's from parts of all over the diocese, truth be known.
Yeah.
But Canon Todd Townsend, the Dean of Theology at Huron University, the Faculty of Theology. Welcome, Todd.
Thank you very much.
Woo!
Good to have you here. Good to have you here. Are we going to have a little fun first?
I think we should.
kind of break the ice a little bit before
What do we
get
play
into
on this thing again? It's Wheel of what?
So we're playing, Todd. What we've been doing is we said everybody knows about Wheel of Fortune, but in our context, the wheel we spin is called the Wheel of Misfortune. So what we'll do is we're going to spin that wheel, and we're going to give you an opportunity to answer a trivia question in celebration of Trivial Pursuit's 40th anniversary. So
It's
you'll
the
get a
40th
category
anniversary.
from anywhere from 1978 or so to 79
Wow.
to 2019. Okay?
That's
So
exciting.
I've got the big wheel here. As you see, we were up all night building this thing. It's
All
kind of
right.
heavy.
Give it a spin,
so I'm going to
Todd.
give it a spin. And there it goes.
There it goes.
There we go.
Oh, heavy, isn't it?
It is heavy.
It's a heavy wheel.
I
Where's
spun
it
it
going to
too
land?
fast.
Where's it going to land? Ooh, sounds like you got a good
And
year.
what year did we get, Ian? It looks like it's the year 1993. 1993. Where were you, Todd? In 1993.
I was in London
Mm-hmm.
at working at St. Paul's Cathedral and newly married,
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
newly
All right,
ordained. I
okay.
was everything
Those
was
were the
new. It
days.
was a lot of
So it's a time
Firsts.
of life you'll remember when this trivia question comes
I
up.
was paying attention.
If you're paying
All right,
attention,
so
that's
Ian's
right.
going to give you a
Ian's gonna get it.
1993.
1993. Ian.
Let's see.
1993. Let me find 1993.
Oh, okay. He's lost 1993. It's the
I
year
might
is-
have two.
I can't remember most of 1993 either. How about you?
I don't remember the 90s.
Where were you
Ah,
in
found
93,
one.
Rob?
There we go.
In 93?
Rob was 12.
Where was
Oh
Rob?
my gosh, where was I in 1993? I was in Chatham working for CKSY Cozy Radio.
Oh, you were on radio.
I was on
Funny
the
that.
radio.
Cozy.
In 1993, I was at Memorial University in Newfoundland, and I was probably at a party at the Breezeway Bar.
The Breezeway.
I would say that's where I
Which
was.
is why you
Or at the
remember
mall.
nothing from
That's why I remember
1993.
nothing else from 93. So let's test his intelligence.
What shall we test? What category?
What category?
How
I
about,
think
sports.
Sports. Let's
Sports.
do
Give him sports.
yeah.
Let's give him
Sports
sports.
from
Let's give him
'em
93.
sports.
From 1993.
Blue Jays.
The orange, right?
Orange.
Orange. What weekly live pro wrestling show premiered this year with a debut episode featuring The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, and Max Moon?
Oh, are you a wrestling fan, Todd?
No. It was WWF SmackDown.
Monday Night Raw.
Oh,
Monday Night
no.
Raw.
Oh,
We
yeah.
got it wrong.
Of course. We were
I
all
was
watching
busy
football.
Monday nights.
Oh, so he didn't get
Yeah.
it right?
The church
You got it
meetings.
wrong.
You
so-
got it
no, so
wrong.
we're gonna-
Unfortunately, Todd. You got the buzzer. Sorry.
That's all
Sorry,
right.
but that's good. So, Kevin, did you want to?
Well, just check in. I mean, we got somebody like Todd on here. Todd's got all kinds of exciting things happening, I'm sure. We just heard, while we cut off, we were here talking to June Huff earlier, and we realized from a text from you that the bishop's charge was on. So
Yeah,
we rushed back into the floor.
Gave you some good advice.
Yeah, I didn't want to miss that. So I missed the first little bit of it, but I'm wondering, we just heard that. What were the highlights that jumped out for you, Todd?
Oh, I like the bishop started with a question about purpose. The simple kind of questions about who you are and what you do as a person, but also as a disciple, but also as a church together. And it's a good question to ask, and she gave some good answers to it.
Right.
That were evocative more than telling us what to think, which I thought was helpful. And then the rest of her charge was organized by the 5 marks of mission, which is something we've all committed to keeping our eye on.
Yeah.
And some of the things that have happened in those areas, but also some pretty strong challenges to beef a few of them up, which I found great.
Yeah, no, and the theme for Synod, and we hadn't mentioned this yet, is being sent out, and that we are the people that are sent out. So yeah, I thought a lot of her themes reflected that. And,
we didn't hear it because we were here podcasting, but I understand she gave the podcast a shout out.
she did. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
we
Oh yeah,
appreciated that.
engagement.
Thank you.
Quite a
Thank
few
you.
things like that.
Thanks,
that
Bishop.
You definitely, and even just the medium of podcasts.
Right.
Yeah.
And that everyone, yes, should be listening to this
Right.
So
if they can.
I think there's probably, like, what's the big news out of Huron right now? You're at Huron University. Things will be ramping up for the fall soon. What's forefront on your mind?
Well, the big news at Huron is that Huron is a seminary and a faculty of theology, but the larger number of students there are undergraduate students, and the population of the students has changed considerably. The vision of Huron has been to be a place that creates leaders with heart, and there's a lot of things going into what makes university education an opportunity to develop character, develop empathy, not just skills, not just knowledge, but to live a life. And that's really resonating strongly, and there are a huge increase in applications and diversity from around the world in the student body. A lot of good support for scholarships for outstanding students.
Right. We just
And
heard about one.
it's all really coming together in a pretty positive vibe.
And building, right?
And a new building
And
is,
the building,
we had sod turning for a new building. That will help support it, and it gives a tangible way for people who want to support Huron, who have the gift of financial resources to do it, and they've been stepping up. So a lot of great things going there. And the Faculty of Theology kind of builds on that and supports that. We're doing a stronger push to integrate theology and religion into everyone's education if they wish
Right.
it.
Nice.
Interfaith studies, with both Jewish studies and Islamic studies. But on the ministry education side, we're in the middle of proposing some really large changes that will make the education much more contextual out in the community, more flexible for people who can not take 3 years out of their life or 2 years out of their life to study full time, but can do it in other learning contexts. So we're proposing those things, which will be challenging but exciting.
That's
Well,
fantastic.
I can tell you, my 3 years there were very formative.
Yeah, me too.
Going back to school when I was a little bit older, and rough at first because in a lot of ways you get torn down in a way when you're studying theological education, things like that. But the ability for those at Huron to help build that back up to a new place that could send me out was fantastic.
The
you
thing
go.
about
Proud alumnus
ministry training is that it is formative. Like
You're right.
you can get information in education. You can be informed, but to be formed requires changes.
Yeah. Right.
And that's why it's been so important to do it in close community with people getting together. A lot of supports
Trust.
that go into it.
One thought that came to mind is about the chapel community and some of us, as I was listening to you talk about the ways that the wider community is supported and all that. When I was there for convocation, one of the things that I saw when I was in there, which I was really moved by, was and all the years were there, of course, maybe it was less of a concern, is there's a food cupboard right in the chapel now. In the chapel, in the corner, there's a place there for the students to come by and take food as they need it. And it strikes me that I feel like the doors are open far more often there now, that it's a place where everybody is welcome to come in. I don't know if you word about that.
Well, I like the symbolism of it being in the chapel doors. That is a big part of it. But even bigger in behind that is the fact that A lot of universities, a lot of people think university students are a fairly privileged group, and many of them are.
Well, and that attitude sort of with Huron, right? Because there's
Yeah,
always
oh,
been
that's
that sort
true.
of thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Rich kids at Huron, and
Yep,
so
and
on.
it's hard to go in a lot of ways, and certain backgrounds allow it more easily, and that's true. Access to education is
Yeah.
a challenge we're always, but there are a lot of people who get in the middle of their studies who are, because of the time of their life, because of the types of formation you were talking about, run into a hard time.
Yeah.
So the mental health support, just food for families and people who need it,
Yeah.
take it, offer it, and there's a lot of gift giving going on between students there
Yeah.
and support between students.
Nice.
And often those are the things that change someone more than their classroom time.
And that's the intersection of faith in the public square that we
That's
talk
it.
about all the time, and it's
Yeah.
great to highlight that and hold it up. So,
Yeah.
so Todd, if somebody wanted to find out more about education at Huron in its many capacities, what's the best way to go?
Oh, the website. It's
Website?
called
Yeah.
Huron UC,
Okay.
HuronUniversityCollege.ca.
Okay.
And anybody there, the staff at Huron is outstanding, like having Linnea here at this event and so on.
Yeah.
Talking to any of those people, it's just they'll draw you right into the conversation. So
Pretty
anybody
active.
wants to just make a phone call or an email, you'll find someone quite receptive on the other end.
Pretty active on social media as well. At least
Yeah.
Twitter, I see both the undergraduates, college itself, the university itself, I should say, and the faculty of theology.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
and I
really
just
active.
want to say a shout out to Huron University for supporting a project that I'll have more to say about on this. But in the fall, I have a project called 55 Hours for Hope. It's a festival of marathon of preaching to raise money for ANOVA and for Jesse's Journey. And the college is a silver chatterbox, is what we call that category, a
Oh,
silver
yes.
sponsor at $2,500. So many thanks to Huron University for stepping up.
Yeah.
So,
Good, and thank you for dropping by.
Fun.
Yeah, it's
Doing
always-
great
always
work, you
good to
guys,
check
with this
in.
podcast. I can't wait to come back and talk about something else.
yeah,
All right.
we'll do something
we'll
else.
do
yeah.
something
Yeah.
else. We'll find you at Crossing sometime. We'll bring you over.
Don't forget to buy a shirt, Todd.
That's right, Todd.
I'm buying too.
And we're back with another guest here at the Synod of Huron. What are we, 178 years at this now, Rob?
And we look good.
And we look good. For 178, I think we look okay. And so we're happy to be back, and we've found another willing victim. We have with us the Reverend Bill, as I know him, Harrison, who is president of Lutheran Theological Seminary in Saskatoon. That's a long way to
Wow,
come for
you
a
did
synod.
well. Yeah.
Well, it's just so exciting. Couldn't miss it. Actually, it's a wonderful opportunity to catch up with people, including my friends here at the podcast.
Very
So-
good.
Okay,
Very good.
well, Bill was here, right? He was
Yeah.
hanging out. What was he doing? What was he doing here again? Do you know?
Bill was the director of mission
Is that
and
what he was?
ministry. Was that the
That's
correct
right.
title?
I was
Yeah.
director
pretty good.
for mission and
For
ministry.
mission
For-
and ministry. Right,
Yeah.
right.
I always
right.
insisted on for mission
For
and
instead of
ministry.
of?
Well, because
You didn't want to be responsible for all of it.
That's right. I didn't direct the mission and ministry. I
That's
just
right.
kind of encouraged other people to do some.
Right. And after some time here, gone out west, so we're glad to have you back and glad you could stop
Thanks.
by. So, Bill, what we've been doing is having our guests have a little fun with our trivia contest because we've been doing trivia ourselves on the show. So, as you see, we've built this great big wheel. We call it the Wheel of Misfortune.
Give
here
it a
on
spin,
the,
Bill.
On the Vickers podcast. So, give it a spin, and we'll see what year you get.
It's heavy, eh? You did a good job, though, Bill. It's spinning
Well,
around
thanks.
nicely.
We'll see where it lands.
Oh, sounds like he got a good year.
And
Oh.
he got 1981.
Ooh, where were you in
1981.
Where were
1981,
you
Bill?
in 81?
Oh, I was still in high school in metropolitan Shelburne, Ontario.
Oh, Shelburne.
Playing his fiddle.
I've driven through Shelburne.
The fiddle festival.
Most people have.
Very quickly.
Isn't that home of the fiddle festival?
It is. It's the home of the
Good for
Canadian
you.
Old Time Fiddle Championships.
All right.
Okay.
Well, what were you doing in 81, Robbie?
In 81, I would have been in high school as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
High
probably
school.
in Windsor. Yeah.
I wasn't in high school. In 81, I was 10. So I would have
No,
been.
I was in grade 9 or so.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You're an old
wow.
fart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I got a few
What
gray
about
hairs.
you, Ian? What were you doing in 81?
That's a great question. I have no idea. What category?
Let's go with, how about history, Bill? Are you okay
History.
with history?
I think he'll nail history.
From 1981.
All right.
I've seen some of it, so maybe I'll remember.
Okay.
Who broke through a glass ceiling this year by being the first woman appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court?
First woman appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court.
1981.
1981.
Is she still sitting on the? She might still be sitting on the Supreme Court.
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
Afraid, don't know that one.
Sandra Day O'Connor.
Sandra Day
Right.
O'Connor. There
And
you
I
go.
should have known.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Legendary name.
I was thinking
wow.
Ruth Ginsburg's been there a long
She's been
time.
there a long time.
but-
Bill
She has
Clinton
been there
appointed
for a
her.
while, but
Bill Clinton appointed
right,
her, so that
right.
would have
yeah,
been
and
the mid-90s.
not as early as 1981.
Well, you know,
so.
we're sorry. We had for you a beautiful, all expenses paid trip to Australia, and unfortunately, you got the question wrong. So you, sir, have a ticket back to Saskatoon.
Congratulations.
Well, you know, if you could go to anywhere, Saskatoon's the place you'd want
right.
to be. So,
Now, Bill, tell us what you're doing in Saskatoon, because this school
Okay.
you're in, it's great that you're there, and not so great that we don't have you here any longer, but tell us about what you're doing there.
okay, well, Lutheran Theological Seminary is actually going through a really exciting time. We're starting to do a fair bit of distance education.
Yep.
And we don't run on the ordinary semester model. Instead, we run on an intensive model so that students come and they're with us for a week or 2 weeks in classes, and then they go home and do their work, with their family in the context in which they are. And it really helps us because we serve a really big area.
Right.
And so, and we also have students, we do classrooms we call them hybrid, where there will be a few students in the classroom and then some students will join us up on the screen electronically from their homes. And so what it means is that theological education is becoming much more accessible for a lot more people.
Right. One of the themes that we always like to talk about here, Bill, on the show is how faith intersects with the public square and where it ends up in the world. So
Right.
when you, other than the academics that of course go on at the seminary and the school, what ways are you trying to form people that come there to ensure that their faith is out in the world and in the public square in some form?
Right. Well, in fact, we're actually doing this in a way that actually kind of builds it in connection to our academics. So
Right.
there are kind of two pieces to that. One of which is that currently we're in kind of large buildings that are in an isolated spot of the University of Saskatchewan campus. So next summer we're going to be moving into a smaller building that's much closer to the heart of the campus, that's actually connected to Lutheran Campus Ministry, where a lot of students meet. And so we're going to connect the seminary much more directly, physically to people. But also, we're really working on programs that do a lot to connect faith to the public square. One of our exciting ones is our Master of Theological Studies in Healthcare and Parish Nursing, which actually kind of parish nurses and people in healthcare do a lot to bring their faith connect to the kind of physical challenges and the life challenges that people face. Healthcare people are there at some challenging moments. And so we're trying to bring that together academically for people. And this is a strictly online degree, part-time, that people can do, if they're doing shift work, they can do it
Sure.
at any time of day.
Sure. Well, that's great.
It's fantastic. Well, I was thrilled. I ran into you yesterday at the meeting they had of parish nursing.
Right, yes.
And I was glad to know that you were going to be here today so we could get you on, and glad to see you. We miss you here, Bill.
Yeah.
You're always a great advocate for change in the church, and your presence here was an important one, and we miss having you around the diocese.
Well, thank you. I miss the whole crew here. It's great to be back and be able to see people.
Great. Well, hope we
Great.
see you again, and thanks for dropping by and having a visit with us today.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bill.
It's been a pleasure.
And back at the London Convention Center, actually right outside the washroom,
We
Kevin,
are
we've
right
discovered.
outside the women's washroom, where once in a while you hear like a 747 jet blow drying people's hands. So if you're hearing that sound effect in the background, we are not actually at Pearson Airport listening to planes take off. It's just the ladies getting their hands clean.
Good. Well, at least we know everybody's sanitary, so
Yes.
that's good. That's
We know the
important.
ones that come out without washing too,
That's right.
because we don't hear
We're
the thing
washing.
go.
That's
So,
right.
Hasn't happened yet, I have to add. But.
So we have a new guest that's
A new
dropped
guest.
by. Would you like to introduce our new
Sure.
guest?
We have the Executive Archdeacon of our diocese, Tanya Phibbs. Welcome, Tanya.
Hello, it's good to be
Somebody's-
here with you guys.
Somebody's been kicking the
Sorry,
wheel around.
I leaned into the wheel by accident. So before we want to talk a little bit about what's going on in your role and in the diocese just for a second. But before we do that, we're playing a little trivia with all of our guests today. So if you just kind of reach over and spin the wheel there, we're going to be spinning
There it
this
goes.
wheel. And this is to celebrate Trivial Pursuit's 40th anniversary. So the wheel will tell you from what year your trivia
This
question
is the wheel of what now?
The Wheel of Misfortune.
Okay.
Is what we're spinning today.
And what year did
so,
she land on?
the year, Ian, is 1998.
1998. Where were you in 1998, Tanya?
That's the year I graduated from seminary and got ordained a deacon.
Aha, very
see?
good.
Yeah. What about
very
you,
good.
Rob? What were you doing in 98?
In 1998, I was still in Chatham working
you?
at the radio station.
We're back in
I
Chatham.
had a long run in the 90s.
Took a lot for you to get out of Chatham.
That's right.
didn't
It took over 10 years.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you did get free.
No, I'm free.
In 98, I was leaving Labrador, having done a year up there and coming to St. Mark's by the Lake in Tecumseh.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, so that was
good.
my 1998. What was Iain doing in 1998?
Or what
That's a
were
great
Iain-
question.
What were Ian's parents
Come on, are
doing
we
in
still not up to the
1998?
year of your birth?
No.
Oh, man.
This is going to be.
Making us feel old.
Just
Ian.
how old are we? I mean,
gotta-
which one of these years do we
Well, I
have to get
got
before
to
you-
spin the wheel of
Are you one of
misfortune a
these that
little
was
harder.
born in the 2000s?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord
dear
help
Lord,
us.
that was-
Okay.
Okay, so she got
1998, and the category is arts and entertainment.
All right.
Ah.
I believe that's
Entertainment.
pink because
Pink.
we've been
Yes,
asked
it
that
is
so many
pink.
times.
All right.
All right, so who was rescued by Tom Hanks' character in this year's epic World War II movie, which won a Best Director Oscar for Steven Spielberg?
Private Ryan.
Oh,
Yes.
without
Wait, wait,
hesitation.
wait for it,
Without
wait for it.
hesitation.
Oh, that's
One of my
it's
son's
not the
favorite
sound effect we
movies.
thought we were going to get, but you know what? The technical Oh, here we go.
There you go. You got the hallelujah. So
There we go.
congratulations. Good. And for your correct answer, you've won an all-expense-paid trip
Back
down
into the Florida
to the
Synod.
cathedral with parking for a day.
Oh, wonderful.
So there you
That's
go.
exciting.
Congratulations. So we're
Parking
happy
in
to
London
do
is
that.
worth something, actually.
Holy cow, yeah, it is.
So tell us what's going on. Anything exciting in your role right now?
Well, Synod's probably the most exciting thing that's going
Yeah.
on. It'll be interesting to see how the next day and a half go. The office has been really busy the last while, just getting ready for the service last night and for the meetings today. And then we have an ordination in a couple weeks of a new priest, and that's one of my favorite parts of my role is the folks who are still willing to offer themselves for this ministry, despite all
Baffles
the
me
problems.
every day.
I know, right? Like you look at the church and you look around, and yet people come and say, "I feel called by God to do this." And I'm like, "That's great. That's wonderful."
No, that's good.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about the theme this weekend being sent.
Being sent into
And
the
we
world.
just heard the charge from the bishop. Was there anything in that really stood out to you? I know you work with her closely every day and maybe even talked a little bit about what you wanted to say to Synod, but anything in that stood out about being sent and the diocese and where we're going?
I think that just the reminder that this is a difficult time for the church. But that's happened over and over the generations. And as long as we remember who we are, which is God's people and God's people sent to go out to share that good news with the world around us, we don't really have anything to be afraid of. I mean, we worry and we get tense and that, but that God will be with us wherever God takes us in the future. Anybody who tells you they know what the church is going to look like in 20 years, I think is a liar. But if we go out into the world and we go with God, then ultimately God will bring us where we need to be. We just need to be willing to go out and follow, which
Amen.
sometimes
Amen.
we have trouble with.
Yeah.
You say there's nothing to be afraid of, but I don't know. Spiders are pretty scary.
I have a brother who
There
would
is
agree
that.
with you
There
on
is
that
that.
completely, yes.
And once again, pearls of wisdom from Iain, producer Iain. folks.
Producer Ian.
Thanks for stopping by, Tanya.
My pleasure. Always good to spend time with you two gentlemen.
All right,
And
thank you.
Ian.
Gentlemen and Iain.
And Ian.
Yeah.
And we are back this time with Debbie from the Miller George Funeral Home
Debbie
here
Pettit.
today. Debbie, how are you?
I'm fine. Thanks
Good.
for having me.
You're welcome. They're right across the hall from us here.
Across the hall. What
And,
the heck is the funeral home? It's a dying church. I mean, it's. But what are you doing there?
Well, it's just for the entertainment of you.
That's right. They heard we were going to be here.
We
Good.
have an audience.
No, but we're very appreciative that you're here, and also very appreciative that you were good enough to help support the podcast with a donation to the ministry that we're doing. So, on behalf of the Vickers Crossing, thank you very
Yes,
much
thank you
you're
for
welcome.
that.
Thank you.
Dave over there.
Dave Mullen and
Thank you.
Debbie Pettit, and just came over and said, "Here, we're going to give you some money for this." So.
And that's great.
Thank you
And,
very much.
We appreciate that. And it helps
You're
keep
welcome.
our equipment updated and things that we need to do to be able to do this. So that's
Perfect.
great. So how about a trivia question, Debbie? Are you ready?
That's
we're
what I'm
gonna
waiting for.
we're gonna spin the wheel of misfortune here and see if we can get you a year.
Wow, where's it going to stop? Oh, sounds like she got a good year.
How about 1983?
Ooh, 1983.
We'll go back to the early.
Okay.
Where
Where
were
were
you
you
in
in 83?
1983?
High school.
High school. All right.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good answer. Good
Yeah,
answer.
I was in high school.
Oak Ridge,
I
just
was,
down the street.
Oh, you were in Oak Ridge? Okay.
In 1983, I was getting beaten up in the schoolyard, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
And
sounds
that
about
continued
right.
through the 80s, I
That
hear.
continued all the way through the 80s. It's a tragic story. I don't know why I'm laughing about it. But nonetheless, it happened.
Category?
Category. Let's go with...
Let me guess, you were in Chatham.
I was in Chatham. Yeah, I was in Chatham. I tell you.
At a
all
radio
through there.
station.
How about the bottom one? Yeah, what's the bottom
Yeah,
one?
Debbie wants to know.
Sports. Okay.
Sports.
Debbie
So you wanna
wants
try
sports?
sports?
Debbie wants to know where you were in Chatham. What radio station?
I was at CFCO and CKSY. There were two radio, an AM and an FM radio station.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, sports and leisure in 1983. Are you ready for the question?
I am.
All right.
What East Coast NHL team that now plays at the Barclays Center won its 4th consecutive Stanley Cup this year?
Oh my gosh, in 1983. Dave, you're allowed
I
to
know
help.
the
me.
answer to this one.
I didn't
remember?
even think there were any Eastern
No,
teams
no,
back
no.
then.
It's the Eastern Conference team. I'll give you a hint. It's an American team. They moved from Long Island to the Barclays Center in Brooklyn last year or 2 years
Would
ago.
that be the Islanders?
Yes, the New York
That-
Islanders
Oh
is
my
correct.
gosh. Congratulations. Congratulations.
What do we got for her?
Well, for Deb and actually for the entire staff at Miller George Funeral Home, we're going to be giving you all Vickers Crossing pens.
Wow, everybody.
Everyone gets a
Big
pen.
round of applause.
You get a pen.
You get a pen, and
You
you
get
get
a
a pen.
pen.
Everybody gets a Vickers Crossing pen, folks.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for joining us on the
Thank
Vickers
you.
Crossing.
Thanks for your support.
Thanks.
And we are back at Synod 2019 at the London Convention Center, and this time,
I
Kevin.
feel a little bit like Les Nessman.
Do you really?
Yeah.
You going to throw frozen turkeys
Yeah,
at
well,
the...
yeah. Well, as God is my witness, I thought
I
turkeys
thought
could
turkeys
fly.
could fly, and
Yeah.
here we go. And
Well,
on
we
that
have another
segue,
guest.
we want to welcome Keith Nethery over to the microphone. How are you, Keith?
I'm the Andy Travis. I'm the calm, cool,
Mr.
collected
The
program
director. All
Right,
right, good.
right.
Well, welcome, Keith.
Reverend Canon
Director
Keith
of,
Nethery is the rector of St. James, Westminster.
Oh, yes. He's even
Here
got a
in
nice
London.
shirt that says St. James Westminster. It's like it's emblazoned on his heart.
Very nice.
and elsewhere.
Very
Oh,
nice.
wow. Folks, you heard it here first. Breaking news. Keith Nethery has a tattoo of St. James Westminster in a region we can't discuss on broadcast.
Well, would you like to play a little trivia with us today, Keith?
Probably not, but I will anyways.
You are now the spokesman for all of Wortley Village.
Okay.
Where
I'm ready.
St. James, Westminster,
Coming
a lot
straight
of
to us
pressure.
from Wortley Village.
So we're spinning the wheel of misfortune
Give it
here
a spin.
Okay.
Give it
on
a spin.
the Vickers Crossing.
Give it a spin, Keith. There we go. Where'd he land? Oh, he got a good year.
2000.
Ooh,
The
in the
year
year
where were you in the year
2000?
2000, 19 years ago?
Medicine Hat, Alberta.
Medicine Hat,
What were you doing
Alberta.
there?
I was the rector of a parish in Medicine Hat, Alberta.
Oh, wow.
right.
Good stuff. What
They
about
have
you?
those out there, you know.
Oh, yeah. What were you doing in 2000?
In 2000.
Were you in Chatham?
Where was probably still in Chatham. No, I think I was. No, I was still in Chatham.
You
You're
were in
right.
Chatham.
Yeah. No, I tell
Hey,
you, there
man,
was a long run.
You took a long journey out
It
of
was
Chatham.
a long run.
Yeah. I was at St. Mark's by the Lake in Tecumseh in the year 2000.
Were you?
In the year
Ian, where were you in 2000? Have we got there yet?
Depending on the month, inside my mother.
Oh,
Oh, all right. Okay. We're getting close.
We're getting close.
Folks, we're getting close
We've
to his
almost
birth
got to
year
his
here. We're
birth
getting very
year.
close.
so
All
Keith,
right.
this is the celebration of Trivial Pursuit's 40th anniversary.
Okay.
So in the year 2000, your question is going to be from the blue category. Since
Geography.
you knew where you were,
'Cause he was in medicine.
That's
geographically.
a
Wearing a
Paul
blue shirt.
Moriarty song.
Yeah.
Blue,
So-
blue, my love is blue.
There you go.
There's my
I like
trivia
it.
answer.
There you go.
All right.
All right. Let's
So
see what he's got.
geography, Ian.
Who was sworn in as the second modern president of Russia on May 7th after winning an election to replace Boris Yeltsin?
Oh my gosh.
I would say Mikhail Gorbachev.
Vladimir
No.
Putin is the answer we were looking for.
Putin in 2000.
Putin.
Putin
It
in
was
2000.
Putin.
Sorry,
oh, hang
Keith.
on. Let's see what we got.
Sorry.
Let's check the bag. Oh, sorry,
Sorry.
that one's wrong. We were going to give you an all-expenses-paid trip to Russia.
Hey.
Unfortunately, with your wrong answer, all we can give you is a trip back to Wortley Village. I mean, that's about as much as
I was
we can
hoping
offer.
for a white Russian or a black Russian or
No,
some
sorry.
other cocktail of that
Sorry.
ilk.
But we can give you a ticket, bus ticket there and back. So if you need to
Wow.
zip over to the office
You are
today.
so generous.
No, it's early. It's early, but you've been in on the floor, Synod. You've heard the bishop's charge. Any big highlights you want to? Anything jump out at you? You want to?
It was
How do you
just.
feel so far?
I always like that looking forward and challenging us to go forward and to do some things and to have some markers to shoot for, to do those things with the 5 marks of mission in our parish. So inspiring, interesting, and we just need to get down to the work of following the marks of mission and getting out to evangelize and to tell people that God loves them no matter who they are, where they are, why they are, how they are. God is completely in love with them.
Good, good. And we know you're doing a lot of great work around that in Wortley Village at St. James Westminster, so we wish you all the best as you continue with your folks there, and we're glad you could stop by and see us and be sent out from the boardroom into the hallway.
Well, I want you to know this is the most exciting podcast I've ever been on.
Thank you.
But it's the only podcast I've ever been on thus far.
All right.
That's because I'm old.
You're the 4th person to say that.
All right. We're
Never heard that
consistent.
Thanks,
good.
Keith,
Thanks,
for
Keith.
stopping by.
Thank you much.
Okay. We're back across the bathroom here in the hallway of the Convention Center for Synod. And we're excited to have with us this time Nathan Johnson, who is here from St. David's and St. Mark's in Windsor, Ontario. Welcome to the podcast.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
Shout out to
Really
Windsor.
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
Good.
Rob and I, we know Windsor.
No Windsor.
Oh, you know what I'm hearing is the floor is kicking up in there. They're singing some sort of gospel music.
Yeah, we'll get through this interview so we can all get back in
something,
sync.
something about their light is shining or something or another. What are they singing in there?
I can't hear. The bathroom's overtaking the sound of the music.
Once
here.
again, folks, if you hear a jet engine, it's the hand dryer in the bathroom next door. It is not. We are not coming to you from
Yeah.
Pearson, okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Madam, hold off on the hand dryer for just 30 seconds before you go in there.
No need to wash your hands, ladies. We're trying to record out here.
All right,
Nathan, we're glad to have you with us. I can't believe, because I've seen you over the years, and you've shot up, you've grown.
Yeah.
And I know now you're doing all kinds of exciting stuff. Tell us about what you're doing now, where you're studying. You're doing some incredible things. You're a fine young man.
So right now I'm studying at the University of Windsor. I'm taking international relations, so that's political science. I'm doing a little bit of modeling also, just something I do on the side, something I want to do, build confidence and whatnot.
Yeah.
Then I'm working for the military this summer, and part-time I'm a reservist. I'm in the Windsor Regiment, so that's located Windsor. Yeah.
Yeah, you got a lot on the go. And you're here this weekend
I'm
as
here
a youth
this weekend.
delegate to
Yep.
Synod. And I know you guys had a conference up at Huron Church Camp up on Lake Huron,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
you were there at that?
I wasn't able to attend
Oh,
that.
you weren't able to
no,
get to
I
that?
was
Okay.
doing a different camp that weekend.
All right, you were doing another camp, but you're here this
Yep.
for today.
And I attended the Youth Synod also.
And the
That
Youth
was
Synod as well?
3 weeks back, I believe. Yeah.
So anything out of the Youth Synod that kind of stuck with you that you were able to kind of take back home or into your life?
Part of what we're focusing on this year for Youth Synod is intergenerational ministry, right? We really want to focus on making sure that older generation, right, is also being kind of protected and kept in the church,
Right.
you know, because we're always looking for more youth and whatnot. But we need to remember, right, the larger population of the church isn't youth. And if we're just always looking for that younger, stronger thing, we might accidentally neglect, those that we have already, right? So we need to make sure that older generation in the church is strong and keeping their place and
Right.
whatnot.
Cool,
Good
man.
for you. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Good
That's
on you
great.
guys for talking about that and learning more about that.
It's just
That's
great to see all the youth marching around here, too. So good on you. And hello to you. And make sure you tweet this sucker out, right? I mean, is this my good side? I'm being recorded.
Are you
Those
being
can't hear
recorded?
it. Do I
Okay.
look good?
Nathan, you want to do a quick
Okay.
trivia question with us?
Absolutely.
Can you
Okay.
spin the wheel? He's
Spin
a
the
tall
wheel.
boy. I bet you it's going to rip around. Oh, here it goes. Here goes the wheel. The wheel of misfortune. Oh, he got a good year. What year did he get?
So, Nathan, where were you in 2005?
2005, I was living in Brampton.
You were in, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
living in Brampton. Couldn't tell you too much more. I think I was in kindergarten at the time.
Oh, well, okay.
man.
Yeah,
And you'll
yeah.
remember
It
this
breaks
really
my
well.
heart.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to give you, so this question's from 2005.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's a question
From the
about,
womb.
From the that's right. It's a question about sports.
Okay.
Okay, so you might be able to get a little help from the gallery here today too. So go ahead, Iain.
What mega hit video game made players feel like rock stars as they strummed away on a controller that looked like a mini Gibson?
Actually, not sports, leisure.
Sports. This is the leisure part
This
of
is the
sports and
leisure.
leisure.
Okay. So Guitar Hero or Rock Band?
What do we got?
Which one?
Pick one.
Can you repeat the question?
All right. What mega hit video game made players feel like rock stars as they strummed away on a controller that looked like a mini Gibson?
Okay, so I'm going to go with rock band, Guitar Hero. Guitar Hero. Let's go with
Final
Guitar
answer?
Hero.
Final
Yeah.
answer?
Guitar Hero is correct.
All right, there we go.
Did he get it right?
You got it right,
He got
Kevin.
it right. He got it right. This is our he got it right music.
Good. Congratulations,
Sort of
Nathan, for getting that right.
What do we
You've
have
won,
for him in the
You've
winner's
won an
bank?
all-expense paid trip back home. And we're going to try to collect a little bit of money to get you back to Windsor so you don't get stuck here, okay?
Great,
so don't worry.
great.
We're going to get you home.
All right.
Not
all
to
right.
worry. But
Fantastic.
good. Thanks for dropping by the Vickers
All right,
Crossing.
thanks
We
for
wish you the
having
best.
me, buddy.
All right.
All
See you,
right.
buddy. And we are back once again, and we've rounded up the Reverend Marty Levesque from All Saints Church in Waterloo.
Actually, we lassoed him.
we lassoed him and dragged him in.
Yeah, he's tied by 3 legs right now.
3 legs. We're not going to go there. That sounds inappropriate.
No, 1 arm and 2 legs.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Let me get a picture of that.
It's the belt buckle. It's the big belt buckle.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Good.
Absolutely.
So how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
We're good. We're good. We were
Awesome.
just talking a little bit about the bishop's charge
Yeah.
in this theme of being sent out, and asking folks your thoughts about what she said. Anything stick out as far as thoughts around some of the ways we're moving forward as a diocese?
Well, 2 things stuck out for me from the bishop's charge. Is one was the how she drew back to the Bishop of Amazonia's sermon last night,
Right, yeah.
which was the statue without the statue of Jesus without the hands.
Great image.
And,
Yeah.
It's beautiful because like we're the hands and feet of Jesus, and like to remind us that Christ is active in the world through us, and without us being participating in it, it's not going to happen. And of course, she closed with a poem from Oscar Romero, who is single-handedly my greatest hero. I've been to El Salvador 3-4 times now, walked in his footsteps many times, and it's just like anytime I can hear Romero,
Yeah.
it just touches my heart. It's
Good.
awesome.
Well, that's great. Good. Yeah, a lot of people mentioning that. Oh, here comes Larry.
Oh,
we'll talk to Larry a little later on.
We have a man walking through with dementia. No worries.
That's right.
Not unusual around here.
Just sit down, Larry. We'll get to
The
you.
testing man is Larry Edwards.
That's right.
Welcome to the podcast, Larry. Nice of you to drop
So,
by.
Marty, you up for a little trivia today? We're going to spin the trivia wheel. We'll
All
have
right,
you.
let's spin the trivia wheel.
We'll have you reach over there and give that. That's the wheel of misfortune.
No, he's
the
on
wheel
the,
of misfortune.
baby boomers
I'm
that come by
really
and
scared
scream
to
in on
find out
what we're doing.
year you're going to ask me about.
Marty, where were you in 1997? 1997.
Well, I was in Ottawa. I was a mechanic. I was turning wrenches. And in 1997, I was all of 2.5 years sober. So I sort of was coming out of a haze and fog.
Vaguely
And
remembers 1997.
That's right.
Yeah, vaguely remember. I hung out a lot at Zaphod's and the Dominion, which was like a punk
yeah.
bar and a goth bar in downtown Ottawa.
Yeah.
I was in
Where were you, Kevin?
1997. I was in Labrador West, Labrador City, Walbush.
Nice.
My first parish, St. Paul's, Labrador City, St. Peter's, Walbush.
Yeah.
And I was the associate curate up there. Where were you in
Guess where
97,
I
Rob?
was, Ian, in 1997.
Were you in radio?
No, yeah, but where?
but where? What city? Chatham.
Chatham.
Hey,
Still
I'm still in Chatham.
I haven't left
There
Chatham
you
in
go.
45
I
minutes.
think when we look at the 40-year anniversary of Trivial Pursuit, Rob spent most of it in Chatham.
So we'll test your knowledge in 97, Marty, from what you can remember. This is going to come from arts and entertainment.
Oh, good.
Okay?
Can it
Arts
be
and
like? Can it
entertainment.
be like punk pop? Because like I'll score huge on that one.
Ask him a Neil Sedaka question or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
It is a music question.
It is a
Okay,
music
let's
question.
Here we go. What girl group recorded Walk Like an Egyptian, which became the #1 Billboard hit this year? The Go-Go's, the Bangles, or the Salt and Pepper?
The Bangles.
Very good. Congratulations,
Salt
Kevin.
and Pepper was
Kevin, he
Push
got
It,
it right.
And
He got it right. What do we got for him? What's in the gift bag?
We have for Marty a free Vickers Crossing pen.
Awesome.
And all the coffee you can drink at the end of the hall. There's a big carafe, so go at it.
thank
Have
you very
fun.
much.
Good.
It's great
So
to be on the podcast. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
All right, perfect. Perfect. Say hi
That's
to the
great.
folks in Waterloo for us, okay?
And
Awesome.
Marty is going to tweet out he's come by the table and subscribed to the podcast, and so he's in to win it. He's in it to win it.
I'm in it to
Shirt,
win it.
jacket, gift certificates from our sponsors, Aleppo and Crossing. So thanks for subscribing.
Thanks, Marty.
All right, thanks.
Glad to be back. It's been a beehive of activity here at the Vickers Crossing table, Rob. So a lot of people coming. They want to be with us.
Yeah, no, it's been great. We've had a lot of people drop by, and we're going to have more through the day. So
Absolutely.
keep listening.
It's
You
lots
never know
of
who's
fun.
going to
Listen
show
in.
up.
And
but
you
we
know-
got somebody showing up today.
Straight from out on the street.
That's right. Literally down the street
Down the street. She
And-
comes rolling in.
to help us with a segment of our show.
A very important segment, which is
Yep.
called
Ask Ian. anything.
Oh, those sound effects are incredible, man. So we are able to have with us today, to ask Iain anything, Iain's mom, Donna Stevenson. So welcome to the podcast,
Thank
Donna.
you. Great to be here, actually.
And Donna is representing the whole Stevenson family today.
I am.
And
I'm
she
here.
has a lot of questions she'd like to ask Iain, but she's going to try and focus on just one. So, Donna, what do you think? What is the burning question for Ask Iain anything
Well,
today?
my question is, Ian's sitting here and he's not in school the whole entire day. So my question is, Iain, do your teachers know that you are skipping this whole day of school?
I missed it. What was it?
The question, again, I'm asking Iain. He's sitting here for the whole entire day helping the two of you out. And my question is, he's skipping school. Do his teachers know
that's a good question.
that he is gone for the whole
your teachers
entire
know?
day?
I skip so much, I don't think my teachers know who I am.
Good answer, Iain.
I don't think I want to hear that.
Producer Iain, skipping school since the year 2000.
No. I signed myself out. I'm 18. I can do that. It's all good.
All right.
Everything's
So they do
fine.
know.
They do
Signed
know where I
himself
am.
out.
That
You
was
followed all the
my-
rules?
He's good.
My major
I followed the
question.
rules.
You've been
It's all good.
compliant?
Yeah. it's
Okay,
all
that's
good.
more than I
Ian.
usually am. So
Good job.
And Donna,
all
he's
good.
the star of this show. You should see the people coming by asking for autographs.
he is.
You would be
he's
so
a rock
proud
star here.
of your son.
He is
Well,
a rock
he's a
star.
good kid, I tell
It's
you. He
unbelievable
really
what's
is a
going
good
on here.
kid.
Yeah.
I knew he'd probably told the teachers he was away today, but I thought I'd ask him anyway.
Nah.
Well, thank you for
Yeah.
lending
Thanks
him
for dropping
lending him
Thank you.
to us all these
Great to
times
be
too.
on. Thanks a
Yeah,
lot.
we
We should
Enjoy-
appreciate
switch
it.
Donna out, eh?
Pardon me?
We should switch Donna out for a much older and less interesting person.
We could do that.
Yeah,
yeah. And as
okay.
a matter of fact, we actually have one just walking by.
Oh,
so
okay.
Larry,
Welcome.
Larry, why don't you come on over to the mic?
Larry is walking by again.
Here you go, Larry.
Now, Larry,
Thank you, Donna.
I told you 100 times if you wanted to be on the podcast, just come and tap us on the shoulder. Walking by yelling, testing, testing, kind of throws Kevin off, right? Because, he's not very good on the fly. So we're going to get the microphone up for you. Never mind your fly. So, Larry, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm well.
Good.
And Larry comes to us from the metropolis of?
I live near Aylmer, Ontario.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I
Where do you minister?
do minister in Thamesford and in London.
Okay.
Very
St.
good.
Luke's Crumlin and St. John's Thamesford.
Good.
All right.
Good.
Welcome. I must say, Larry is very skilled at visiting the hospitality suite at the clergy conference.
Right. And Larry has the best stories and
Always.
jokes.
Yeah.
Larry always keeps us
Now,
laughing.
don't say that.
Yeah.
I
But we
haven't got
can't
one
tell
ready.
those stories on the
No,
on
not
the
no,
podcast.
Not podcast worthy. No.
So
Okay.
we won't do that. So
Or
we're-
bag worthy. Like we have a legend of the
Of the worthiness.
of the worthiness
Yes.
of a travel bag that we like to pass around at
Right.
clergy conference.
Right. So Larry, we're asking everybody that drops by. We've been at Synod here for a little while. Were you in to hear the bishop's charge a
Oh, I
little
did
while
hear it,
ago?
yes.
Yeah. So maybe a thought about something that you heard that might have stood out to you, or about being sent, and some of the mission and ministry you're doing at your parish.
Well, I was expecting a trivia question.
You
but,
will get one.
You will
This
get
isn't
one.
what
but
the
you
bishop
must
said
you
was
must
not.
you must pay first.
The bishop was not trivial in her
No,
comments.
not
No,
at all
she was
trivial.
not.
And I
We
hope
said
that's-
trivia, not trivial.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay. Well, I'm going to tell you, I was. Can you hear me all right? So I had a heck of a day, guys. I left. I got stuck in the construction on Hamilton Road. Then I got through that. I got to the London Free Press. The train came by. I got a few seconds here.
It's like a story.
Few
This
seconds.
is going to be a story.
Then I got to the front of this building, to the parking lot, and the guy put the lot full sign out as I was entering.
Is
What
that
the-
right about when you wandered up here going testing,
No,
testing?
no, it
No?
gets worse.
What
So
we
then-
didn't tell you, Larry, is we put a picture of you out front and said, if you see this guy, close the
Close
lot.
the lot.
So then I go over to, I'll go over to the cathedral. It's the only other place I know to park. I park there and I'm walking back. And I get just about here and I realize I left my wallet on the front seat of my car.
Larry.
Yeah. And so I run back. I mean, run full bore because I
You
am-
ran?
I
That's- I'll tell you,
and
that
and
much
that's hard to
that
believe.
much clergy meat running.
That is
That's
hard
got to be
believe,
fun to
but
watch.
I do, and I get back and thank God my wallet's there. I'm beat now. I can't even walk. So
Oh,
I
Larry,
get,
well, we don't.
I get
yeah.
checker cab to bring me back here. $15 from the cathedral to here.
Welcome to Synod, Larry.
Oh,
So you didn't hear the bishop's charge, is the long and short. of it.
Oh, can you figure that out? So I get here and the bishop's just wrapping up,
Yeah.
and it was inspiring the last little bit. But,
Okay. Good.
I
Good.
really can't.
Be sure to read it later.
Yes, I will.
And to our listeners, as I said, Larry always brings us a great story. I rest my case.
That's right.
So you want to play a little trivia, Larry? We're going to
I'm willing
spin
to
Can
play
you
the
spin
game.
the wheel, Larry?
the wheel of misfortune.
There
Let's
he goes.
go.
He's spinning
Bring
the
it
wheel.
on. Bring it on.
Show me the money. Big money, big money. Ooh.
Ooh, Larry, where were you in 1990?
1990.
1990. Where was Larry?
Larry got 1990.
Let's see. Larry was
Larry,
married.
you
in
got to
nine-
talk to the microphone.
Larry
not away
was
from-
married in 1980. 1990, he was raising 3 children, working on his farm.
I like how you talk about Larry like you're Donald Trump.
Yeah,
third
Larry was a good guy.
And a stable genius.
And a very stable genius.
I wouldn't go
Extremely
that
stable
far.
genius.
Where were you in 1990? Because I know where I was.
You were in Chatham.
I was.
In
So
1990.
do you mean specifically? I was living on my farm, raising children with my wife, and raising our horses.
For
All
me,
right.
1990 was spent again at the Breezeway Bar at Memorial University of Newfoundland.
You've been there a while.
I was there a few
Apparently.
times, yeah.
Okay, Larry, we're going to ask you a question about what do we do? How about science and nature?
Science and nature.
Being a man out on the farm and out on the
Okay.
land, you should
Bring it
know a
on.
little bit about this.
Bring it
So
on.
from 1990, Ian.
What global science project began its quest this year to create a complex sequence of the blueprint of making Homo sapiens? Do you want me to read it
The
again?
Genome
Read
Project.
that
The
backwards.
Genome Project?
The Genome
The
Project.
genome, Larry.
Yeah, the Human
Larry,
Genome
Larry.
Project.
Larry,
My goodness,
Larry,
holy
Larry just
smokes.
walks in and aces it.
Now who's the stable genius? That's right.
That was quick.
That was quick. Larry,
What have we got
congratulations.
for him?
What we've got for you for winning today is privileged out front parking for the rest of Synod.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
congratulations,
Get
and
you
we'll
a
take
spot.
your picture down from the lot so you can get in there anytime
Thank you,
now.
guys.
Okay.
Thanks,
Good,
Larry.
Thanks. And we're back across from the women's washroom here at the Convention Center and Synod 2019. And Reverend Dan Boyer is joining us from Stratford. And the name of the parish again?
St. Paul's in Stratford.
Right?
Yep.
Right. And we're glad you're with us here today, Dan. And one of the things Dan does in the diocese, because we want to talk about this, because it's a great opportunity to talk about how faith intersects with the public square, is Dan has been coordinating and running the diocesan golf tournament for a number of years now, right? How many years have you been doing
This
that?
year be the 11th annual
Okay.
diocesan golf tournament. Yeah.
So give us a little plug. When is it coming up?
The
And,
11th
where is
annual
it?
Dan Boyer Annual.
The annual Dan Boyer
not
annual.
quite. Not all about me, but no. This year will be September the 7th. Up at Ironwood Golf Club in Exeter, which
Exeter.
we've never been to, but the committee thought we'd give it a try. I finally am to the point where I just registered people. We have 2 wonderful co-chairs of the Diocesan Golf Tournament Committee. Two really great lay people, one from Stratford, one from just outside of London. And we've got our booth is literally just steps away from where we are
you
right
near a
now.
bathroom at all? Or?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
Are you near a bathroom at all?
Not terribly far. Yeah, we're kind of in between 2 bathrooms.
Well, we
so-
get to hear the blow dryer every time the door
There
opens.
you
so
go.
we get
Yeah.
sound effects we didn't plan here.
Yeah,
That's
right.
So a little extra for the podcast
Thankfully,
today,
it's
too.
just the blow dryer that we can hear.
Nice,
the
nice.
golf tournament's a great tournament, and the main objective is to raise money for outreach projects in the diocese. And I know
Absolutely.
there's many different things going on, but you're telling me kind of a neat story this morning. We were grabbing a coffee about an outreach project that really did affect someone on a really deep level that you were
Absolutely.
experienced with. Share that a little
Absolutely. Well, it's kind of neat to be part of this here at Synod, because one of my hobbies is being part of a podcast that is on all platforms. It's about music, and so through interviewing bands and reviewing records and stuff, I've gotten to know a number of the different indie bands across southwestern Ontario. And so for a couple of years at St. Paul's, we've had a rock show in our basement with a speaker that comes in that speaks about hope. And this past year, we had our own, the Reverend Marty Levesque, come. Marty is very open about the fact that he's a recovered addict, and so he came and told the story of hope. And we had the show in partnership with Crossing Bridges, which is a youth outreach ministry in Stratford, and with ShelterLink, which is the youth shelter. And so representatives from there came, and a lot of the kids came that utilized the services of ShelterLink and of Crossing Bridges. And in the middle of the show, I just took a little break. I was walking out into the hall, and a kid at the show said to me, did you guys put this on? I said, well, the church, like I didn't myself personally only, like the church worked together to, make this happen. And the kid fell into my arms in tears and said, thank you for supporting ShelterLink because I just moved in there this morning. And otherwise I would be homeless. And I was like, whoa, this is real. Like, this is why we did what we're doing.
Right.
And then, I don't know if it was by divine providence or what it was, but the next week I ran into the kid in town in Stratford. And he outlined all of the resources he was now engaging so that his life would move in a positive direction.
Right.
And it all started on the day that he came to the show. And that's what we as a church, not just St. Paul's, like our whole diocese has to be about, right? Is getting out beyond our doors to make that positive difference in the name of Jesus in the world around us.
Right.
And that's what the golf tournament is about, because all the proceeds, I mean, over 11 years, the list of ministries from food banks and soup kitchens and mom's cupboards and suicide prevention ministry and currently an outreach to high school students. Just name them off.
There's been a lot.
What we need to be about in the name of Jesus as a diocese.
Good. Well, I hope people that might be interested want to look at that and get a whole bunch of folks out to Exeter this September and enjoy that.
September 7th, Ironwood in Exeter, $140 per golfer, but that gets you a lot. Gets you lunch, dinner, golf with cart. You get a tax receipt for a portion of your registration fee. And, it's a day that's meant to be a lot of fun to make a big difference in the world around us in the name of Jesus.
Perfect. All right. Before we let you go, we want to
Time for
spin the wheel of misfortune
the
here.
Wheel of
at
Misfortune.
The
Give it a spin, Dan.
So we're going to spin. There you go.
Oh, wow.
We're
He's
gonna
got muscles
you-
on him like crazy. Listen to this thing
Oh,
go.
you're a strong guy.
Yeah.
We're going to find you a year as we celebrate
Oh, wow. What
40
year?
years of Trivial Pursuit. So, Dan, where were you in 1999?
1999.
Oh, my gosh. 1999, I had just begun study at Huron University College as an undergraduate. I was in pre-business at that point, and I got B's, and it was an okay year. And
you mean like honeybees, or
no, like a B plus, like 79%.
Okay, yeah, no,
type.
I never got that high,
type
Dan,
deal.
so I didn't understand it. That was a grade.
And I remember I saw the academic counselor at the end of that year, and he said, keep on going. And I just said, you know what, business is just I'm not passionate about it. And for whatever reason, probably because God has a sense of humor, I guess. At that point, I was just at the beginnings of discerning a vocational call to serve as a priest, and like I say, because God has a sense of humor, I ended up in the seminary just a few years later.
Thank God that God has a sense of humor, because I don't see a lot of it some days around here.
Yeah. So here we are.
So you remember 99 pretty well. So
he's
we're
going to
put your
get this
memory
question
to the
dead
test,
on.
right? And I know Dan being a big sports
Big
guy
sports
and
fan.
everything, so we're going to give you a question from geography.
Geography.
So go ahead,
Changing it up.
Iain.
What country's soccer team won the Women's World Cup by defeating China, promoting Brandy Caston, to whip off her jersey in triumph?
Kind of a sports question.
I know this.
Do you know this one?
Women's World Cup,
Yes.
1999.
I
a
remember
surprise.
that.
It was a
Yeah, it was a
surprise.
big.
Big upset.
It was a big upset, and there was a famous picture that went. Did they have viral in 1999?
I don't know about viral, but
So, okay, I'm not going to go with my original thought. The player was Brandy Caston.
I'll spell it. Chastain. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Chastain is her name.
Chastain. Brandy
That's the
Chastain.
word. That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember that famous picture?
I do.
All right, good. Well,
I'm-
you got it
I'm-
right.
I'm
That's
gonna-
close.
I'm gonna
We'll give
I'm
it to
gonna
him.
go off the board, and I'm gonna guess the U.S.
That's it.
That's correct.
That's it.
There you go.
Nice.
It won't play. Our sound effects are broken.
We need more.
Hallelujah! Hallelujah!
Somebody fire up the hairdryer over there. Good. Well, congratulations, Dan, for getting that right. You've received a sleeve of 3 golf balls pulled from the swamp at St. Smithers on the Creek. And you can use those golf balls at the diocesan golf tournament.
I was going to say, that's perfect.
Enjoy.
Thank you very much, guys.
Don't forget to get subscribed and enter to win our shirts, our jackets, our gift certificates, and tweet to the world that you're subscribed to the Vickers Crossing.
Awesome.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Rob, Kevin, and Iain back with the Vickers Crossing here at Synod 2019. And another guest, Kevin, that's rolled on down the hallway.
Yeah, it's incredible. This corner is like the hot corner. Everybody is coming by here.
Well, the bathroom's there.
The bathroom, but it's also to do with your sexiness. Like, I have heard a lot lately, the clergy at Clericus talking about how sexy your voice is, and Kevin, you're okay, is what they say.
That's what's written on the wall in the bathroom. So
Kevin, you're
Kevin, you're okay.
Kevin, you're okay. So one of the guys who's rolled in is our dean, our esteemed dean of the diocese and rector of the cathedral, Paul Millward. Welcome to the podcast. We're glad to finally get you on the Vickers Crossing.
It is awesome to be at the Vickers Crossing. Thank you both.
Good. We're glad you're here.
I did see your phone numbers and your names in the washroom, so that's good to know. Promoting selflessly.
Well,
good job.
It's all about advertising.
We like to get the word out wherever we can.
That's right. Sometimes we are sent over there into that bathroom and we want to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
But we were talking about the theme of the Synod, which is being sent out into the world. And the bishop gave her charge a little bit earlier to the diocese, talking a lot about the 5 marks of missions and some of the places we're going as a diocese. Anything kind of stand out that you got excited about hearing as we move forward from her?
In lots of ways, the bishop's charge built on Bishop Marinez's sermon last night in terms of being the hands of Jesus in the world around us, and we continue to focus perhaps on things that cause us not to be that. So as a synod, as we're sent out, I think it's encouraging for us to try and to do that in ways that will be new for us. And Bishop, in some ways, we had the State of the Union in terms of where we have been, and she also pointed us to a future that we don't necessarily know what that looks like yet, but in faith we continue to work towards the plan that God has for us, rather than try and create our own plan and make that fit. So
great. I actually like that near the end when she was talking about, near the end because we were out here in the beginning, but I was in there near the end. But the piece about exactly what you're talking about the unknown and that there's risk involved and it's uneasy, sometimes messy. I think that's really where the Holy Spirit gets infused into a lot of what we're doing nowadays. It's when we enter into those places that are uncomfortable for us and we don't really know what the future has. So it's pretty cool. Absolutely. And I just, and a shout out to you, Paul, and the folks at the cathedral for all the good work you're doing. And your continued sort of work to try and continue to move that place along as it continues to address the needs of the community around, and being such a strong representative for our diocese as the dean. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you.
And in a place that's that has many things going on and many challenges right in the downtown. So you're kind of in the middle of all this. And
there are lots of good folks, and we're inspired. It isn't just the St. Paul's folks, although it is for sure, but there's lots of others that come and work with us. So we're blessed to be where we are.
Been really thrilled to see your Saturday night iftars with the Turkish
Absolutely.
community.
It has been such a great
ministry.
We need to do better promoting. The Vickers Crossing, you guys do a good job.
Oh, well, we use the bathroom wall, Paul.
I was going to say.
You just use the bathroom wall, everybody will know.
Okay, we're going to spin the wheel of misfortune here, Paul. We don't have a
give
wheel
it a spin,
of fortune
Bill.
On this show.
Give it
this
a spin,
is the
Paul.
Wheel of
There you
misfortune.
go. Wow, for a dean,
big
he's
money,
got big muscles,
big money.
Okay. Ooh,
Paul
what
hit the
year
jackpot.
did he get?
Paul, where were you in 1980?
Where was I in
1980? You were stocking shelves.
I was stocking shelves. I was home in Paris, literally stocking shelves.
Yeah. See, I knew that.
Yeah,
See,
you did.
Paul comes from a grocer's family, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
My dad had a grocery store in Paris. So in
so
1980,
you started there. Very good.
I had just left high school, and I actually came to Huron College in 1980, which was the year Bishop Derwin Jones was consecrated, because I was feeling a call to ministry, and I come up and walked around Huron College and said, not yet, not at this point.
1980,
and
I
went
think
back.
1980 was the year I got sent to the office because the eraser from the top of my pencil came out in my nose, and I don't know what it was doing up my nose, but it popped off, and we had a job to get it out. So,
see, yours is a much better story than mine. I was just stocking cans of peas. You were,
He's in the principal's office.
Someone is trying to get an eraser out of my nose.
That's right. That's going on the bathroom wall, my friend.
That is going on the bathroom wall.
I was not in Chatham, by the way. I was in Windsor.
All right.
I was in Windsor, and you know what I remember?
We got a year where you weren't.
You know, I remember bringing in 1980, being home alone on New Year's Eve, watching.
Kevin.
No, you know what I was watching on TV?
What?
I was watching Scott Baio Leo and Aaron Moran from Happy Days usher in the new year in 1980.
Joni
Joni
loves
Chachi.
Hey, from the gallery
Remember
over
that?
here, Joni loves
Sitting all by myself.
See, in 1980, the Montreal Canadiens were playing the Soviets. I mean,
They
they
were,
did that
yes.
for about 4 years on New Year's
That's
Eve.
right.
I couldn't watch because I had an eraser on my nose.
Yeah.
All right, Paul. Well, let's get into some sports then. Sounds like we're going to take you back to 1980. Give me a
1980.
sports and leisure question, Iain.
Wow, okay. What country's miracle hockey team beat the 4-time gold medal winning
He gets a
gold
softball.
medal winning Soviets in one of the most
Why don't I
dramatic
just play the sound
upsets in
effect?
sports history?
Oh, the miracle on ice. Mike Ruzioni. Who
Oh, there he
else?
goes. Wow.
That was Jimmy Craig. That would be Team USA at Lake Placid.
That is correct.
Do you believe in miracles?
You believe in me? Hallelujah.
Congratulations,
what
Paul.
do we got for the Dean?
Paul, congratulations. You've won a brand new black marker, so you can just enter into the washroom, put all that information on
and
the
you
wall.
can write it right on the wall.
And you'll be able
How do
to
you
talk
spell
more about
Ruzioni? I don't.
I don't know. We'll figure that out. We'll get Iain to do that.
Raser.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank
all
you,
the best
guys.
to you.
Good
Yep.
job.
All right. Wow, what a go we're having here. It's a busy place. We can never get all this into one podcast, so we're going to sign this one off and move on to another recording. But many thanks to the many people we've had on so far. It's been an incredible morning.
Right, and there's more coming. So we'll check in with part 2 down the road. And again, thanks to our sponsors, Crossings Pub and Eatery on Hyde Park Road and Aleppo Restaurant in London on Wonderland Road. And Kevin, remember to always look both ways.
Before you cross the street.